Good morning, everyone. Welcome to FYI for
Good
your
morning.
information. It is Monday, the 11th of April, 2022, and we have a full house this morning.
Yes, we do. We're so happy.
All
Look
members
who we have here with
of
us.
the panel on board. We have Sherry Duncan right next to me, and more importantly, next to him, we have Amanda Watson. She's back, folks. She's back.
Bright too. Bright.
Finally back.
In all of our coats colors. She coats colors. Bright. That's a wink to coats. Course, if you're in the corporate secretary or so forth, such and so forth.
Thank you, guys.
Repping strong.
I missed y'all.
Repping strong this morning.
It's good to be back. Well, good morning to the FYI team and family. I'm happy to be back, y'all. I missed y'all, man.
Happy to have you back. That's great. Good to have Manzo back. We missed her.
Well, I can tell, Manzo, when you were not here, persons consistently were on us. So where's the Manzo? You know, where's the Manzo? We not see the Manzo. We miss the Manzo. So guys, Beatrice, Dave, Desiree, June, Vanessa, everybody.
I
She's back, people. She's back. And she came with Prague, so it's even better. Prague's come, people. So things is even better. We're so happy. We're so happy. Prague's coming.
Once things come, you gotta send her again.
Yeah. But so many folks joining us this morning.
Yes, most
So
definitely. Guys, as you know,
Anderson, good morning.
yes, Sherry is doing the same.
Share.
Share.
I can't share why this morning.
Let's back
See the
up.
quash.
Share the live stream. Let everyone be
yeah.
able to have credible information. Guys, we have like I said, our full panel. So a whole lot of context to the discussions, every single topic. This morning we'll have some more insight. It is always lovely to have.
It's better when Amanda's here. It's better. Let me come over.
Amanda always bring a unique perspective to whatever issue.
Always some bright ideas. No pun intended. Bright ideas.
It's good to be back, guys.
Beijing in the house.
We have Beijing in the house. We have Kenneth Ramphal. Good morning, Roxanne, Aaron, and Singh. Yeah. I see Vashti is there. You know, Sharon, when I was traveling, I met so many people that said to give, their regards to the FYI team. They're logged in every morning. I see Gary says that I have to pay my absence fee. Gary,
I he's here, but he listening. He listening.
Mark Pereira. And look, she said you look so handsome between the
two. I try.
Thank you.
They're all the best to be.
Stanislaus is watching us from Sunderland, England.
Oh wow!
Tell me, how was the weather there? When I left, it was pretty. It was getting. It was getting very cold. It was it was spring like, and then it was going to be very cold.
And you weren't about that life. You came back home.
Nah.
He has fixed the bungs of your habitation.
He has fixed the bungs of our habitation. I am a tropical creature. Good morning from Antigua. Godfrey Mountain says Winston Carr. Bernie was his last name, right? Bernie's watching from Newark. Right? If it's a man or woman,
New Jersey. Sure. Yeah.
Aileen.
Creation.
Yeah,
Bernie Creation.
Bernie, let us know how to pronounce that. Just in case you pronounce it.
I want to know if this is like that's one with somebody by child or somebody creation.
Yes. Here's a Prince George. Good morning, and Sandra Raphael. Good morning. Sandra's watching us from Brooklyn, and who's there from Manhattan?
Matthew Dennison from Manhattan. I'm from M.
And tell us what the weather is like in your neck of the woods.
Correct. Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx.
That's Kenneth is joining us. Also we see Winston Carr is
Rochester, New York, and
some of these places.
This is a very nice
welcome to our international morning program. International morning program. Please and thank you.
Thank you, Courtney October. Courtney says you guys look beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney.
We see Eon McFoy from Montserrat.
Wow.
That's
Wide and far and wide.
The reach is getting where it needs to be.
Montserrat.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
As you know that we say this is the source for valid, credible information.
Yeah, and we only doing with valid viewers and credible comments.
And there's so much trending. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's
plenty things going on.
A lot going on.
Plenty things going on.
Well, this morning, guys, we're here with our tea.
Yeah. I ain't tested the tea yet to give it the stamp of approval. Jury just made the tea come. So we can be selling shower by year end.
So one morning, Sharon got on this program, man, and told the viewers that this tea brackish.
Brackish. Like if she buying this milk and issue. I mean things tight, man, but to God. You can manage.
You know, the next day he got the double dose.
You got the excellent.
Right on point this morning.
There you go.
You have to come more often, You got to come more often to tea on point today.
You learn fast. What can
apparently.
Oh my goodness, we have so many things that's going on this morning, guys. But
Chin Sing says that black and white.
You look like a star.
Oh, score.
Yes.
Scores.
Thank you. I feel like when we were in secondary school,
you got to start blushing though.
Oh yeah, my cheeks gotta be all blush.
Say the things. But it's good to be here with all of you guys. Thanks for joining us this morning. Ensure you're sharing the post. But I see like you're a little easy on the emojis. Make sure you're smashing the emojis, folks. Smash. A little easy on the emojis this morning.
Yeah.
Be heavy on the emojis. Be heavy on the shares as well. Michael Gittings and Bradford Stacy, Andrew Cusbert.
Well, I know Warren joined us a little later.
Warren is here?
Of course, Warren don't miss it.
Long Island in the house.
Excellent.
Excellent. Cecile says, look who's back. Surprise. Oh, yes. Let me see if I can get that at our end. Cecile says, surprise. Miss Buttercup. Looking beautiful as usual. Good morning, Cheryl and Jurita. Welcome, Amanda. Happy Monday. Successful week ahead. I love that.
Yeah.
Successful week ahead.
Thank you, Cecile.
Candy says she's having her coffee this morning.
Oh, yes. Candy. The lean energy, yeah, always here, all the way from Skelton. All the way from Skelton.
Sherry is saying we must come quickly to Barbados. Sherry would love to come.
We're sending somebody there quite soon.
Oh, good.
Somebody's coming there quite soon. Quite soon.
We won't say who.
But quite soon. Come your way, Sherry.
Mohammed Candice said, this is a skip. Oh, Mohammed, you sound like you need some love this morning.
Yeah. Love and affection.
You sound like you need a hug.
Yeah. Come up for breast milk too early.
You sound like you need a hug, Mohammed. But this is a program of good vibes only and credible information. So if our joy is too much for you, Mohammed, you know what?
Yeah.
Is it what Mohammed?
It's voluntary viewership.
Yeah.
Actually, Mohammed is quite amazing. Mohammed comes every morning. So
he keeps coming back, He keeps coming back for the abuse.
I don't know, but I
like to see Mohammed.
Yeah.
I like to see
Mohammed.
I'm sorry.
Juretta likes to see.
I like
keep
to
coming
see
back.
him. When he's here, it just gives.
Let him see how we succeeded.
The diversity.
Somebody gotta be with this. Somebody gotta be with
But
this.
there's so much happening.
But let me mind Amanda's business. Amanda, how was your sojourn in various? Amanda was in. She was with the Queen. She was in Great Britain, and then she was in New York. She was in the USA. Let me see specifically where she can tell us.
I was in diverse places.
Tell us
how. Look, that experience was incredible, and we were at a Commonwealth seminar for parliamentarians, and I'll tell you what stuck out to me.
In the UK?
In the UK. They do not distinguish between government MPs and opposition MPs. At that program, we had members of the opposition and members of the government doing seminars, doing lectures. The most incredible thing that I learned, and this will be of interest to Juretta, is that they have not had a minority report in their PAC for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And actually, they take the view that we are not here to pin things on each other.
Yeah.
What we want to make sure is that the taxpayers' money is being spent.
Yeah.
And what the government MP said to us, because there is the opposition usually chairs the PAC.
Mm-hmm.
He says, we're not here about defending.
Mm-hmm.
If our administrators are misspending,
Mm-hmm.
we want to know, because it means that, for example, healthcare is being robbed of money.
Yeah.
When you squander here. And so that paradigm,
brush of fresh air for you.
That paradigm was amazing.
No, well, that would be good. That would be good to experience, because anybody that actually joins the PAC meetings, because like every month is PAC. After this program, I'm headed to the PAC meeting, and anyone that joins it will see that the only time I actually get upset and annoyed is if a matter comes up, and then, for example, members of the government, the PP, would say that, "Oh my God, and this is such a crime," and I would say, but when I look back at the 2012, 13, 14 Auditor General's report, I'm seeing the same thing repeating itself. I said, so instead of just trying to have this nice headline in the newspaper, what are we doing to fix it? What are we doing to fix it? We see this is a consistent issue. What are we doing? And that's always my question. What are we doing to fix it? Because it makes no sense to go to this meeting, you examine, you have all these issues, and then come out and then there is no solution given to the problems. But I dare say that one of the programs that we actually had to do, we did an online program there, and I can tell you that they were stressing the importance of having a bipartisan approach to the Public Accounts Committee, and that's the only way you're going to actually get the results that we desire.
But it's
but
really
our country, our line, that rigid line down the middle there, it's almost impossible to see that moving.
It robs us from building institutions and building institutional capacity. Because can you imagine the government and the opposition united against wastage and against, misallocation and misappropriation? It will mean that there will be money in the system to do so much more.
Correct.
But alas, we don't seem to be interested in those things. We prefer to be, blaming and pointing a finger. And we really have to begin to usher in a new dispensation.
Because if we're to be honest, the problems that we see and we encounter, those problems are things that have been happening for quite some time.
Over and over
Let's
again.
be honest, and fix it and move forward.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about
so that was the UK. I want to hear now about the US.
Well, the US is private business. My sister got married.
Oh, lovely.
So I was there to spend some time with my siblings and just relax.
Family is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I tell people I make no bones about self-care. Because if you don't care for yourself, you're not good enough to care for anybody else.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, you take a break, you decompress, and you come back in order to be able to better serve people and serve your people.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Yeah, well, those things are absolutely important. I was telling Sharon up to this morning that I've made a decision when it comes to family time. It will be time that I don't deviate from, because what's the point in coming and doing everything that you're doing if you don't make time for your family, for them to benefit most from you? There's no point in me going out there and people saying, "Oh, she was a good person, good young parliamentarian, good young representative of the people," if my family is not able to say, well, she was my children are not able to say she was a good mother.
Yeah.
She spent that time with me and all of those things, So what are we doing it for?
Exactly, and Joretta, it's particularly so important for somebody like you because your girls are a little younger.
Yeah.
My boys, they're checking on me every once in a while to make sure I'm alive, but they have their independent lives. But no, I anticipate that I would have had that same challenge if my boys were younger, because it is important to spend time with family. I think people fail very often to see us politicians as human beings with emotions, with need for support, with need for feedback. And so we will be unapologetic about
your
True words have not been spoken. True words have not been spoken.
And we want Sherrod to go on a holiday soon.
I was about to say, and now that the man is recharged and all that, she'll be taking the lead. Because somebody going off to Barbados shortly, and somebody needs to leave. Leave of absence.
So you haven't left me alone. But it's important to take time out and to recharge and to have that time to spend with family. Balance has always been the key to the story.
Most definitely.
Indeed. What's in the morning papers today? Talking about morning papers. Somebody was overseas, guys, been calling names and brought back some papers for us, and we're so happy because we always
how Cher feels about
We love. So we have from Great Britain, we have the Sun, which is at the bottom, and then we have the Guardian. The Guardian is an excellent international newspaper. I would dare say both, but if I have a preference, I would say the Guardian above the two. The Guardian. So somebody brought us back papers along with all the prags. That makes sense. And we always say to folks, you're coming this side of the Atlantic, pick up a copy of the newspapers wherever you are, and that would just make our day. They said. So we're so grateful. So a lot of things, making their morning papers. Cost of living crisis hitting a lot of countries. That's part of what the Sun is telling us this morning. And again, what's happening in Ukraine. Thousands of persons are still displaced in the Ukraine, and so we are watching that. But we got some other things to make in the morning.
Well, Ukraine in particular, I wanted to add to that the president of Ukraine, there's Zelensky, is also saying that he's expecting some heavy attacks coming his way very soon again. And so we're going to be looking at that because the situation there is completely out of control. Human lives are being lost. I think that there's, for what? Sometimes you have to say for what. Nevertheless, but as we look locally in the morning papers.
And just before you go there, as a man who was leaving the UK, the Prime Minister was also leaving the UK. He was heading to the Ukraine because I think there was just a meeting in the Ukraine with the President of Ukraine and Prime Minister of Great Britain.
It's really interesting, the perspectives that are emerging, and this Russia-Ukraine conflict is really laying bare a number of issues. Very interestingly, I noted that we abstained from that human rights vote. I am interested. Well, I was told that the reason, because I asked, the reason was that they did not receive a fulsome human rights report. And so it is going to be very interesting.
We don't watch TV. We don't watch the news and so
how we maneuver, because of course Russia has issued a statement that says that there'll be repercussions for those who voted yes or abstained, because it will be viewed as an unfriendly gesture. And so I think we are navigating very interesting times internationally.
But we need to, I think the caution, I understand caution, but I think people should understand abstaining doesn't mean that you're staying out. That sends a very loud message all by itself. Not because you abstain means that you have said nothing.
Absolutely.
It sends a very loud message, and we cannot just say, oh, well, Guyana kept out of it. That's not how those matters go, because what's the level of importance of this issue for this country altogether? And knowing that our own issues that we have to deal with here in Guyana, what messages is sending to other countries, there we hope never to reach at any stage, but what is the message that we're sending when, if ever in the future, we are in need of a vote ourselves? And that is my concern.
Precisely. And, this thing has split CARICOM down the middle. Because some countries have abstained, some countries have voted. So CARICOM is split. And then the other issue that is splitting CARICOM is this issue of the Secretary General.
I was coming there to ask for your impression on that, because I don't know. I don't know if Todd is going to throw his hat in the ring and it's going to be endorsed by our government.
No, but you see, it's interesting, these developments, because again, what you're seeing is an undermining of the institution.
Which is what we spoke about on Friday. We talked about CARICOM.
Frankly, we should require explanations as to what is the motivation. Now, this is not about the person, because the person, she is an excellent minister, a very competent woman. But again, if you're going to have a regional approach to these things, then you have to have a regional approach. And so,
interesting perspective. And I like Amanda's perspective, folks, because you would remember, even with the local issues here, I always maintain that you have to separate the personality from the issue.
Absolutely.
Because if you get caught up in the personality, you forget what's the real issue, Even with, I was talking about the fact with the top cop. And I was saying, let's separate the personality from the issue, because had it been someone that, say, for instance, everybody don't have an issue, everybody's in agreement with it, but the process in which it was done, that is the issue. So remove all of your focus from the individual and the personality.
Which is also brought into question the recent visit by the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Baroness Scotland, whether that was a genuine visit, or there was some campaigning involved in even that.
Interesting. So hindsight always is 2020, and so it'll be interesting to see how the CARICOM countries maneuver these rocky waters.
But Amanda, to be fair, Baroness Scotland has had quite some self-inflicted wounds where it concerns her tenure too.
She has not gone unscathed. I mean, it's very interesting, but again, there has to be a place for the ventilation of all of these issues.
Yeah.
So that if that is a concern for Jamaica, then there has to be a forum where that is ventilated.
Yeah.
It's not, and again, the candidate that they're proposing, eminently qualified. It is the principle.
Yeah.
That, and then there's some African countries that agreed to support the Caribbean nominee. And so it introduces that complexity as well. So we have a lot of negotiating to do, and it will amount to will. It will amount to the will of preserving CARICOM and preserving the institution and the aspiration of one of a Caribbean entity. So it'll be interesting to see how they,
but we'll be
how they maneuver this. We will continue to monitor.
We will be monitoring, looking on, and as a man who's doing asking questions, that's one thing I like about the man. She's not going to just sit down and assume. Amanda would get on the phone and she's going to ask the questions like, "Why did you do this?"
Amanda will call, Andrew, what happened here? Andrew, make it right. Talk to me. What happened here?
Yeah.
What's happening locally?
Locally in the morning papers, but we're still in the morning papers. Locally, one of the things that caught my attention is the fact that one of the papers saying that COVID vaccination at all-time low, and Anthony, that is the Minister of Health, Frank Anthony, issues appeal. And again, I come back to the fact that I made this case before.
So you drop all the barriers.
That's my point.
All the protocols, you drop all the regulations.
And they wonder why persons not getting vaccinated. Wow.
I am certain Anthony suspects. You rather suspect that X, Y, or Z.
I think what he suspects is that what he rather suspects, if we put it in those terminologies, is that the numbers that are being reported are not the actual numbers. He rather suspects that.
I don't know. I keep saying there are 700 and something thousand of us in this country here, and we really cannot afford for a resurgence of COVID to happen. We therefore have to look. The reality is that people have a role to play in governing themselves and in acting accordingly. You go there, people behave like COVID down.
But they're getting a prompt from the administration.
No, but indeed, and I'm not suggesting that the administration is without fault. They must see the extent to which they model behavior to be emulated.
Yeah.
But it's just a complete breakdown of love or
for oneself,
of decency.
What I want to add there is that as we were coming this morning, I heard on the radio they were talking. There was this infomercial. They were talking about caring for a COVID patient at the individual level. I was wondering, when did we get here?
Yeah.
Right? If somebody's in your home is positive, right? Then bring them to the hospital. Report,
isolate.
This is what you should be doing to care for the COVID patient at home.
Because it is. Look, the reality is that we have to live with it. And that is the reality. The world over, the UK, for example, you're not required to wear masks and so on.
Yeah.
But again, it has to begin at an individual
I love that because I'm requiring myself to wear a mask when I'm outdoors.
You understand? It has to begin at an individual level. You have to be cognizant of your health. If you can't take care of your health, you shouldn't be responsible for nobody else's. And so I must wear a mask because, I understand the need for me to be responsible. So it really is a question of how do we live with this new normal? Because that's not going back to normal. This is the new normal. How do we navigate it? And the other thing that we're not talking about is nutrition and the role that good nutrition plays in health. COVID cases will increase because people's immunity. Can't find out, how much for lime in the market and ginger,
locally grown.
And those things that are needed to naturally boost your immunity, we can't afford them. So you will find people get it's a spin-off effect, and unless this government takes positive steps to arrest this slide, it's going to continue.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
What else in the papers? What else we looking at?
Well, actually, I think that we should move on to the morning trend a little bit this morning. So Sharon has navigated us through the trend this morning.
Quite interesting. This was happening in coming out from we picking this up out of BBC. Some of what's happening there, that very soon, this is being tested at least on one person currently. You can have a microchip implant and you can pay with your hands. You don't need any card. You don't need any plastic. You don't need cash. You just swipe your hand and you go.
Swipe your hand.
Right? You know what is quite strange, that years ago, when I was a devout, I'm still Christian, right? But when I was, more practicing than now, during Bible study, our pastor would talk to us about Revelation and the end times and so on. And these things were like a distant dream, that you could have all these chips implanted and the mark of the beast and all of that. It's right here now.
But what determines, like when you said the mark of the beast just now, I was like,
No, but those are fundamental tenets of Christian theology.
Yeah.
And so it'd be very interesting to see how we navigate this. I am just so personally excited to be alive right now. I mean, they're challenging, but they're exciting times.
Yeah.
They will determine whether mankind, whether we triumph or we.
Yeah.
Well, technology is not going to just be stuck at where it is right now, and that's the important thing for a person to understand. So people will keep trying to bring something new out of this world, more creative, more innovative, and all of these things.
So this guy is saying that people are always surprised through the animals. So when he goes out and they're playing with cards and he's just swiping his hand, they're wondering.
I'm interested to know how much is he being paid to actually have an experiment conducted.
Meal's gotta be free. You're swiping every day. Meal's gotta be free. Interesting
to see where technology is going. And it's interesting to see the intersection between religion, technology. It's going to be an interesting.
No, we are right here. It's just that you don't have the implants, because in civilized society, first world countries, they can track your movement based on your spending, where you stay, what you're eating. It's interesting to see the U.S. system is set up in such a way that Uncle Sam always, for instance, the taxes. Right? Online, offline, Uncle Sam will get his pound of flesh. You better believe it or not. So the technology is right there. It's just that they didn't really, implanting, putting it in your flesh.
Just yet.
Right? That's the last frontier.
The final frontier.
That's not gonna be here.
Are now contactless. You swipe, you just pass them, and you go off. I mean, there's some countries that are not even accepting. You used to have to swipe your card. Now it's just tap and go. And so it's always very interesting to see. But again, it presents Guyana with an opportunity. And I keep saying, if our leaders can stop this bickering, we can move this country. We can leapfrog, because we can avoid all of the pitfalls that other countries experience with their development, and we can leapfrog to the front. But alas, it appears like we're gonna go down this trajectory of. But
this is the direction that we're moving in, and we've been seeing at this end has been one of the missed, I think, as Amanda just said, one of the missed opportunities of COVID-19 to move in this paperless manner. We still carry around lots amount of cash and that kind of stuff.
To be a challenge. It invites.
Them boys.
Activities.
Them boys.
Them boys and them banners. It invites. It's a security threat. So it's time that we look at going paperless. Pensioners, for example.
We have, for example, I think it was Jamaica that introduced their
just had their
digital currency. And while Jamaica is going digital, we have the new $2,000.
We have the
That's impressive.
It shows a variation where our level of thinking is as a country and as the administration altogether. If we're not thinking forward like that, yes, we're seeing so much development is coming. You're encouraging persons to come back home from the US and so forth. Persons who are used to a certain level of service being afforded to them and in a specific method. We need to go down the line of integrating technology into our systems. So for example, we spoke about it I think 2 weeks back or so, with the fact that the GRA is trying to encourage persons to come online and get things done. So if we go digital, the more digital you are, the less work have to be put in physically, the less manpower have to be put into the level of the tax office to actually get their revenues in.
But again, how do you get a country to embrace that new paradigm?
Oh my goodness.
It has to start with leadership.
Yeah.
And when you got petty leaders like the ones that we have right now, that is not
endorsed.
That is not a priority for them. I cannot fathom that in the 21st century that we are in, is the 21st, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, still.
Right? That we run an election and road and what and
exactly. We've been talking about that here. Why is that still the measure? What have you gone on to, and what have you gone on to outside of that? That qualifies you to for office. You know,
for the grass there.
In other countries, and you don't have to go far. You know, cash is the abnormal thing. If you're coming through, for instance, JFK, if you go to pay for something on the airport, they're like, no, we don't accept cash.
Some people do not accept cash. And that, you see, you go into some stores and they tell you plain, if you have cash, you can't buy here. It has gone so far that in those airports, they have kiosks that you could actually go buy temporary credit cards from. So you put your money in, you get the card. That is the level of
safety as well.
Of course.
Safety as well.
And how do we as a people begin to demand more?
And Amanda, that is one of the challenge we're currently having. And I don't know if the guys at the helm, they seem to be asleep at the wheels, are encountering, because if you try to do business, for instance, internationally, there's a significant challenge moving money in this country if you're doing business online. Few of the banks are recognized to transfer money. So if you are remigrating home, you know the challenge you got to go through to get money into this country.
Some people have complained bitterly, remigrants, that they have to spend 3-4 days trying to open a bank account. It is ridiculous. We have to improve the ease of doing ease of business.
And you know, it is one of the conversations I had, maybe too late, with the last CEO of GT&T, Mr. Ned, who did a fairly decent job at the helm there. And I was complaining to him one day to ask him, for instance, I don't know if the system is better now, but thankfully I got mine fixed up thanks to him. My MMG system, it took days to get that thing. And I called him and I asked him, I said, Mr. Ned, with all due respect, it's a concern to me that you can sign up for Netflix without having to submit an ID card, upload this, upload that, upload. You can sign up for Disney Plus. You can do business internationally, but a company right from the street. You understand me? It takes you 3 months trying to verify some documents. No, but even that, there is no guarantee.
There's a lag,
right?
There's a lag.
And you know, that was the challenge. Look how Netflix has gone universal. You know, I was actually, what moved me to Netflix is the same challenge. I remember talking to a colleague in an office about a particular cable service here. I don't want to name them. And she said, you're having so much challenges with them. Why not try Netflix? At that point, 2 or 3 years ago, I'd never heard of Netflix. And I've never gone back to the local company since.
Because
one, it's a fraction of the cost.
I don't have, I'm not ashamed of me, I don't have cable.
Right? And just to show, for the price of that service, I got Disney Plus, I got Netflix, I got Amazon Prime. Right? So the world has gone on so seamlessly. Even the customer service end. You have a trouble with one of those online companies, you can either chat with them in real time or you can call them, and that problem is likely to be resolved in minutes.
By somebody sitting somewhere in your Bangladesh. Because again, they understand the call center type activity. I can't remember the official name for it, but they have customer service agents that they trade all over the world.
The BPO.
So when you call, you're not necessarily speaking to somebody in the US. How are we putting ourselves and inserting ourselves into that market?
But we have strange enough, right? crazy enough as it is, right? When it comes to those particular services, we have right here in Guyana, Qualifon.
Yeah.
We have, what is the other one? Camp Street.
We have a couple of them. I just say that.
Right, but those are the two major
Teleperformance.
Those are the two major ones that I can think off the top of my head. We have them right here, like right here. What stops companies, businesses right here from utilizing those services so that you have reliable information at your fingertips?
Sharon said it could be a question of scale. And look, again, I think innovation in Guyana is stifled.
You think so?
Yes. A lot of the stuff that we see people are coming with that are groundbreaking is technology from 10, 15 years ago in developed countries.
Because
it is the same thing with the advent of fire, for example. To people's fire was like a miracle. Wow.
Yeah.
So for us, because we're so far behind these 15 and 20-year-old technology that are now being introduced, it's like, wow, but get with the times.
Yeah.
We have to, what I want to see this government do, for example, is to start fostering innovation and promoting innovation. Put our young people to start thinking, fund competitions to come up with some product. Like get a 20 million Guyana dollars prize at the minimum. Come up with innovative and creative ways to deal with things.
We have, and I dare say we have the brain power, and that has been proven time and time again. We remember it was our young people that went overseas, made us so proud with the STEM competition altogether, because we have the brain power. We just give them the opportunity and they are going to deliver. They're going to deliver.
Our Guyanese diaspora are all over the world playing important roles in developing those countries. And we are sitting home here stuck in this very toxic political climate. And we
the
technology, service sector.
The other challenge, Amanda, that we can raise there as we move on, is that a lot of people who are in the diaspora who want to come home and to be a benefit because they now have all this experience, all this training and all of that, they find the challenge being integrated somewhere meaningfully. Administration don't seem to want your know-how. They want your money, contribute to the campaigns and so on. Otherwise, then that's still, right? People who retire, they come home, they still want to give in somewhere, but there's no fixed structure outside of the remigrant stream to come back home and just build a house or something. They can contribute locally.
But there's a truth that I don't think we want to accept, Sharon. And that is that sometimes we will have to speak some harsh truths to Guyanese. And that is that there is often an attitude in our ranks that you ain't been here in the struggle, so you can't come back. And where that idea falls short is that it robs us of valuable experience. Because for me, I don't look at the diaspora as a competitor. Well, you've been all these years, we struggling and so on and so forth. And the reality is that is an attitude that is present in Guyanese. And if we're gonna get to the bottom of the issue, let me be honest about it.
But that's a chicken and egg, because if I see them struggle, I wouldn't have the experience. And so
but I dare say,
you know, very often you have to leave and go and come back.
It's true. It's the experience that I go.
It is experience. So it is an important.
Amanda's making that point, and as you make that point, I'm thinking to myself, but I don't think Guyanese have an issue with collecting the remittances.
No, we
got. There you go. And so, what we gonna
talking about that? Talking about it goes to the heart.
It's an experience that indicate that there are ways that you can contribute.
Because the people in Pakistan seem to understand the power of the remittances. Because, for instance, since the ouster of Imran Khan as prime minister there, the Pakistani withdrew approximately 1.8 billion in hours. Overseas Pakistanis say, oh, y'all, we know the power of our remittances to the country. Y'all want to oust Imran Khan? We ain't sending no money. 1.8 billion, that's remittances.
And that is
1.8 billion.
That is the power of the dollar and the power of the people when they withdraw their economic support. And I'm sure there's another topic that we're going to be discussing, because I need to see people withdraw their financial support from a certain man that would kick his daughter.
Yeah.
But we can come to that.
We
come to that.
But again, Amanda, you've raised that very important issue there, which again is the power of the dollar. And we don't think it's something that is recognized here enough, that, you know, we don't have to put up with this nonsense, you know. Right? Some of the nonsense you see happening nationally here, we don't put up with it. You just refuse to buy from some people. Yeah. And you see how quick.
When you see, I can say it like this, right? If you look at the percentage and the demographic that actually go, and they are the consumers. When you look at who the consumers are, you would understand quite clearly that if that base of consumer is to withdraw their finances, their resources altogether from certain businesses, those businesses will crumble.
Y'all hear what Jaretta said, and it's very, very important. In the civil rights movement, that was a strategy.
Yep.
Where they refused to spend money at certain stores. You see, we cannot just complain about atrocities and don't do anything about it.
Sure.
The party is different.
The people, you see, again, these are the people that understand their power, and that power lies with the people. Yeah. If you do nonsense, I have the ability to censure you for withholding my money.
1.8 billion.
But you know what happened? We continue to support businessmen that support this government in their corruption.
Yeah.
And then we sit down and we cry. If we don't go to some of them stores on Regent Street, believe me, they're going to start turning around and demand more.
But the
PSC and so on can sit fast because we do not have the discipline many times to deprive ourselves for a greater good.
Yeah. Very true.
Right? So let me be honest. We can give them FYI.
I think it's important for us to actually put out, and I will actually just put the stats I will put out the stats myself on who actually are the majority of the consumers in our country. People need to know. They need to understand.
Figures and statistics. And this is not about emotion.
Nope.
This is about understanding that statistics are a useful basis for making decisions. So if all of we decide being shopping at a particular businessman,
why are all the businesses all the businesses come centrally? Why all the businesses come centrally to Georgetown? Why is Georgetown the area in which everybody wants to set up? Who resides in Georgetown? Who is the consumer base in Georgia? You know, it's a fact, but I don't want persons to push it wrong. So I'm going to say, let's bring the stats forward and let people understand for themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I want you to know that them boys moving ahead against that because they understand the significance.
They do.
Georgetown and Region 4 playing too significant a role.
They know
nationally, and so you got to move some other stuff. You know, there's a whole project now coming at the apex, the tip of Region 3, for instance. You can see a whole other stuff being built out there.
Yep.
Right? We got to put things where you support it.
But
that's the politics playing out.
But it's temporary politics. It's temporary politics because it continues to baffle me how we put in so much money in infrastructure on a coast that we know is vulnerable to climate change.
Yep.
It bothers me. We are displaying again. And that is because the current government, irrespective of what Irfan says, they are not visionary.
They remove the technical experts that could put that vision forward.
They're not visionary. They're very temporary and now in their thinking. Otherwise, you would have seen concrete moves to begin to have national discourse on how do we move further inland.
Yeah.
How do we secure ourselves against rising sea levels? And they know that it is happening. They have the data.
Yeah.
And
which goes back to something that we talked about just moments ago. If they were visionaries, you'd have a broader discussion. That's number one. And the fact that they are just for the now and they're temporary in their thinking says that we have all the answers. And as soon as you believe that you alone got all the answers, you're finished with. Because and the approach says we alone got the answers. This whole thing about shutting out the opposition from anything that's happening, national or otherwise, says that we alone got the answers. And in fact, that you aren't engaging your diaspora on anything meaningful in terms of, where's this country in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, when lots of us aren't here, frankly speaking, right? Where are we then?
They want to, and this is where you see, you have to, as a population, we have to begin to understand that when we leave Guyana to our children, what are we really leaving?
Yeah.
We want to talk about Dubai and the how Dubai was changed and converted from desert 20 years ago to what it is now. But that is because when you look at Dubai, what you will see is that there is a preponderance of national plans down to their aviation industry has a 25-year master plan. They plan in the long term.
Yeah.
And so they don't break and build every 5 years that we, the way
That's how
we
we
do.
plan the cycles that we plan.
And
To get
it
to the
is
next
sad.
election.
It is sad.
Right?
Wow, what about if we as Guyanese are able to come up with a national plan that we said that we as Guyanese want?
But that's
Any
a challenge,
government that
Amanda.
we elect is bound to
That's a
implement
challenge.
that plan.
You could never create a national plan as a political party by yourself.
No, but this is true.
Mm-mm.
But this is where we as a people have to demand.
Now we're talking.
This is where we as a people
Now
have
we're
to
talking.
demand it.
Now we're talking.
1.8 billion overnight.
Yeah. Because they have a demand on that government. But look what's happening, and this could have some implications going forward. The private sector commission, guys, they got an election coming up. They need a total overhaul of the private sector commission.
Tomorrow is that election. Tomorrow, the private sector commission.
Total overhaul. Timothy Jonas quite recently said that the private sector is beholden to the government, the PPP government. Right? Everything that they do,
Well, you would know.
right, says that they are beholden to the. And I use Timothy Jonas because when we say something, people say, "Oh, yeah, being thing and so on."
Yeah.
It's just one-sided partisan and so on, right? So I'm using Timothy as a voice to say that it's not only we alone noticing it, and there are set pieces we spoke about.
I don't think they are beholden. I don't think they are beholden.
What do you
They
think?
are the one and the same.
Well,
It's the same.
Yeah, there's no piece. It's not like we are an external body and we are forever.
There's no
grateful.
thin line
There's
or
no
anything.
line of separation.
which is
one and the same.
a terrible thing, and it's the same thing happening too with the executive and the legislature.
Yeah.
The very same thing. The National Assembly, in as much as you have the majority being the government, and the executive is one and the same. So when I saw quite recently, for instance, the executive saying they're waiting on the nominee from the National Assembly, who are you waiting on it from?
Yeah.
Because you only the opposition.
Because you set the dates for the meeting that have to do the appointment.
Yeah.
But again, and this is why I often say to people that programs like these are important. Informed citizens make informed decisions. People got to get information. You're going to call for people to go out there. People must know why they are out there and the injustices that they are protesting, and understand, as best as we can explain it to them, what is at stake.
Correct.
It is obvious to me that to move forward, we need radical constitutional reform. And we have to listen. I am at a line in the sand.
It's a must. It's a must. If you don't have that reform, Manza just hit the nail on the head there, because and it's it bothers me to think, like, a lot of times, and I always have to go back to the fact that these discussions needs to be had at all corners, all age groups. Everyone needs to have it, and too many times I believe that we miss the opportunity as a country altogether when we don't have these frank discussions, that this is the only way that we can go forward.
And it may mean sometimes disagreeing with people in your corner.
But we have agreed that we can disagree.
We will disagree.
You know,
be respectful about
we agree to disagree on points.
But you see, unfortunately, that is not an attitude that pervades, and the level of maturity doesn't pervade.
Yeah.
You look at the US, the Democrats and the Republicans fight like crazy, but then you may see them having lunch and coffee.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
they understand that
there
this
is
for
a
country.
bigger picture.
Yep.
We here, like we can kill Matty in this little piece of place of Pigante.
Two by four.
But our country is so ridiculous.
We have to do better.
As a people, we behave. As a people, I think we behave so. We are so sensitive to certain things that we don't even stop to think. We need to do a lot of introspection to see where this is coming from, where the animosity and all this is coming from. Because that point that you just made, that in the US, yes, they have their differences when it comes to policies and politics altogether, but they can still sit down at the table. In Guyana, as we see it right now, how dare a member of government sit with a member of the opposition and be, oh my God, it's like,
and so
everything is going to go.
How do we look? And there is no. It's a very interesting question because it has to do with where we are in terms of our psyche as a nation.
Introspection.
There is no doubt that wounds have been inflicted.
Yes.
On both sides.
Let's agree on that first. On both sides.
Are we going to continue on the hamster wheel, or are we going to begin to forge a new political culture? I want to submit to us that we have to, because the 750,000 of us in this 83,000 square miles, and there may be million of us in the diaspora, unless we decide that we are going to get it together 10 years from now, 5 years from now, what will happen is that we will wake up and we will be third-class citizens, not even second, in our own country. And we will be robbed of everything that we are rightly entitled to as Guyanese, because you have a government that is willing to prostitute Guyana at the altar of political expediency. I want to bring up a matter on this registration of births and deaths. You all recall last August in the National Assembly.
Oh, we went to this.
I said to them, this thing ain't got mischief. Now we are beginning to see that they have begun to do
the mischief.
But in the mischief that they're seeking to do, they are placing Guyana's national security at risk. And I will say this. You see, what we are never good at in Guyana is playing the long game.
Everything they can see as far as their nose, as what people say.
People around us and countries around us are playing the long game. So from a national security perspective, you think about the fact that I can send a few 100,000 people over the Guyana border. Half them registered as Guyanese citizens.
When you have millions to spare.
When you got 24 million, you can figure out who it is.
Come on.
You have 24 million people. I can afford to strategically implant in the Guyana population.
And what does our government
at least
do?
1 million.
Our government passed a legislation that says they're going to become Guyanese.
Our government confers on it because there's a perception that this is they will support them politically. But in that expediency, they are exposing just our innermost parts as Guyanese, because you now have planted within your population a population of people that can be called upon at any time.
A population that easily outnumbers
you, military and everything.
But my issue is, and I keep saying it, I've said it a few times on this program on FYI, is that there is no clear number out there, and there is no way to act for persons. I think it is a poor job at actually monitoring the amount of persons that are living in Guyana, have families in Guyana, their children going to school here. A lot of them come over, they get married, some of them, and it is impossible for us to wrap our minds around the amount of persons that are here in our country right now.
And so
it's impossible. And these persons are going to get registered.
And
I dare say,
to be given Guyanese citizenship.
I'm telling you, I know of situations right in Bartica, my home where I live. I know of situations right there when a Brazilian guy came to me. I was working in a company up there. He came to me and he was coming to register for a service that we provide. And he brought his ID card, his Guyanese ID card. He could not even speak English. And he brought his Guyanese ID card. He said, he's registering for this service and this is what he's using, right? And there are numerous cases like that. Numerous.
There you go. So if I were an ambitious, long-term thinking neighboring government, what I would do is make sure that I send people across the border. I would make sure that since I teach them that Essequibo is ours, that they go and they set up shop in Essequibo.
I just want to know why the Haitians are having such an easy time.
You see, This is where this government, and I've always said that their foreign relations approach is transactional. This is transactional, but it is a dangerous, dangerous thing that if Guyanese don't understand what is afoot, come next 5-10 years, you're going to have a population of people. Now, we have to make it clear that they have to be separated from Guyanese who would have migrated.
But that is the point. That's the point that the opposition made in the National Assembly when we were debating that.
Right.
You know, a lot of arguments were made from the Attorney General against what we were saying and how you going to do this, and certain things speaks against that. Not seeing the long-term impact that a country and the current citizens of this country will face.
They don't care. So what is going to happen? And I'm speaking to supporters of this government now, is that you will support a government that in 10 years' time, your children, when you probably not here any longer, some of them because of age, will inherit. Well, there'll be nothing for them to inherit.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be nothing for them to inherit. There's nothing preventing a sleeping population from being inserted here with these loose laws that the PPP have put in place. Sharad, it is a serious thing.
It is.
It is a very, very serious thing. And if we have to implore Guyanese to become interested in the future of this nation, don't be distracted by all of the parties and the carnival and the tralali.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the PPP government is out traveling and they're here, there, and everywhere. It is something that they do to distract from the foolishness that they are doing, because they understand that psychologically we appreciate politicians coming out and being touched and felt and appearing to be in touch. And
accessible, the perception about accessibility.
We quickly forget what they're doing institutionally, and we get caught up in this.
And we're going to be talking about some of those things. We're going to be talking about some of those things in just a second that they're doing institutionally. We segued into this issue a couple of minutes earlier, but we can come back to it. The wider issue here, but specifically, the Kitty Police Station is coming under fire because of this firearm seized from a businessman caught brutalizing his daughter, and the way in which they dealt with the whole case. But it's the broad issue of the treatment of the businessman. If they treat you one daughter like this, my God, me want to come under your foot or under your hand, because
when I can say that so when it comes to business altogether, I think it was my cousin that actually told me that she would have gone by this particular business and purchased in bulk before. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, obviously, now that she's in, she said that she just feel like just going to take back everything.
I saw a horrifying photograph, a video of a man with a belt in his hands. You have an adult daughter who is 25. You got a belt in your hands. And then I saw what looks like a man kicking somebody into a whole host of clothing. I don't understand that.
No, I don't understand why this is a debate.
Yes.
I don't understand why persons are even in. Well, let me rephrase it. I don't understand the attempt to justify.
You see, because like I believe strongly there is a talk. There's a talk. You see, March month, this thing you talk about Women's International Day, and so it's just talk.
Yeah.
It's just talk and photo up. But when it comes time for the practice of all of these things, gender-based violence and all this stuff, right?
We talk about
lip service.
Listen, we spoke about this. We said at the level of the police stations, training needs to be had, and you cannot have the same rank that's going out there and directing traffic and then coming back in the station performing other duties. Be skilled enough to know how to effectively and efficiently handle certain situations, and that's why you have the young woman is saying that she made several attempts and it wasn't treated as it should have been treated at the level of the police station. Every day, women going to the police stations and not getting justice.
I would add something else to that as well.
Every day.
That's a very visceral reaction from me.
Yeah, me
for
too.
reasons that you guys know.
Me too.
I don't understand why there is a debate.
Yes.
I don't understand why there is a debate. His business must stop being supported forthwith.
Yeah.
And if Guyanese are serious about sending a message, then it does not matter how badly I want to dress up or whatever. I must not spend money at his store.
Yeah.
what you are seeing there is narcissistic behavior on steroids.
Yeah.
It is manifested in the fact that he has everybody under him under control.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she who was there to speak out is now the black sheep.
Mm.
Well, I want to say kudos to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must know that you have support in us. And all the people who will go and continue to spend money at this man's store know that you're a part of the problem.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there plain. How can you lift your foot against a human being?
Yeah.
And one that is you own.
Your child. Your own child.
How do you do that? And then for that clown,
but I can tell you
this. Space for a justification.
I can tell you this. More on the matter than on the pistol, because I can tell you this. That is not the first time he raised his foot in the family. Nor he hand, because nobody in that video seemed shocked by that action. Nobody in that video was shocked by that action.
That was my issue. I looked at the video repeatedly, right? Because
that was a normal Sunday.
On instinct, if something like that happened and in anyone's presence, an irrational thinking person, everybody would jump to the defense and try to interject. A woman mopping or something.
She never lose strike. Never lose strike. That is normal.
It is
as usual. Right? Because they're thinking that is not my business. I got to maintain the daily bread. I'm going to feed my children. And this is how the fabric of our society begins to erode, because everybody becomes insane.
Where is the humanity? Where is the humanity? We lose all essence of humanity and self-worth. When we decided to turn a blind eye to these situations altogether, because I dare say everybody suddenly becomes aware and suddenly wants persons to interject when they are in the situation.
But
everybody
wants society contribute to this, because I'm telling you how men like them operate.
Victimize the victim.
This is how not men like them, but people like that man operate. What they do is that you see the whole public array that he has brought out? Yeah. That standard modus operandi.
Yeah.
Because guess why? He knows that none of them in that line have the courage to admit that they have been on the receiving end of his battery.
And you know
let me make this point. Because he knows that they will be put on trial in the public. Yes. And many people don't want that. Yeah. And so we as a society, we have to determine to what extent do we contribute to people staying silent in these types of situations.
Yeah.
So we gotta do some sort of thing as a nation.
I wanna pick up something that Judy said earlier on about the policeman and so on. The part of the challenge too is even if that policeman has the courage to deal with it properly, he still has to report to somebody who got to report high up a food chain.
He can get transferred.
He get transferred.
It's a barrier.
Right? He might want to deal with it in the right place. Right? I ran into some policemen quite recently. We're going on a similar training, domestic violence training, so on. Currently in the police force. Yeah. He might want to deal with it in the right way. Right? But he know if he dare, right, what can happen up the chain. Right? Well, and then them boys further up the chain, at the apex of the chain might say, this is a man that's contributed to be party in a major way, election campaign and so on. So let me see what we can do for you.
Sort it out.
Right? Who is more valuable to them, the daughter or the father? Further up the food chain, right? But as Rowley said the other day, some of y'all will betray your country for a plate of food, right? Would betray a woman for a plate of food because you won't get the kickbacks and so on. That's the reality.
It is really.
Who is more value to them by further up the chain, right? But International Women's Day, we can go and play lip service. We can go and take out some nice photograph with them ambassadors and so on, hold up some placards and say, yes, women matter. But the day after that, right, every man for himself, every woman for herself in this country, every woman for herself. This is the acid test. Not International Women's Day when it becomes easy to write a speech and talk nonsense.
It is, and I want to see the female ministers of the government come out and demand, because the issue in a condemnation is not good enough. You must follow through, make sure it is investigated, and make sure that this man pays a penalty. This is not a horror word against his, because people do lie.
Yeah.
I have been on the receiving end of some lies. This is a case where this is on video and it is caught.
Yeah.
So you can't refute it.
Yeah. And
what
Amanda, you deeper in the legal system than the rest of us. I think the state don't always have to wait on a report to be made if the evidence is clear.
The state should not.
You got to wait till somebody dead to say, "Oh, we should have seen."
Yes, and then
what do you think coming next?
And then this young lady is in hiding, is afraid for her life, and what critical support is being brought to her?
Yeah.
This morning, they should have had a line of women's organizations in front of the store,
led by those that are in government.
He didn't get a chance to open.
You could imagine. I republished a jingle. I didn't write it. I didn't produce the music. On my Facebook page, I had countless people in the PPP.
Yes, all of the I
ain't kicking woman.
The
women
Prime Minister, PYO, Reverend Pat Sheraton, Prime Minister Gail Teixeira, you name it. I didn't kick a woman. I ain't beat you with a belt on camera. Right? I simply republished something that was already circulating in the public domain. Where are them now? Vindhya Prasad, who has remit to protect women.
And so, this
I didn't even see a statement. Was there a statement?
I didn't see anything from her. Somebody put up some condemnation that Priya put. But I'm saying Priya must now demand
because
more.
She's in a position to demand more.
Not just put out this timid story. All of them should be, the women, whoever their women's arm be, should be out there in front of his place protesting.
Yeah.
You see, this is when I put that post about prayer and fasting. The president himself must come out and condemn this. This is his nation.
But I'm going to introduce another aspect of it. Let me introduce another aspect of it, because I have seen quite a few posts from quite a few women that belong to members of the administration. So a lot of people can't come out and condemn because we kicking women too.
Yeah.
We beating women with belt too. Let me as a man talk.
The point is that there are enough women. What me doing, Edge?
Yeah.
Can't get them out.
Yeah. Now's the time.
What with Gail?
Now's the time.
What with Gail?
What if I goes there in this government?
Then not to come
How do you blast people
and talk why are they not condemning this in the strongest possible terms?
Yeah.
Help me out. Why? The Guyanese people must answer. Why are they not doing it?
Yeah.
That is because at the end of the day, the truth is that they don't care about the Guyanese people. They care about their connections. They care about preserving their boys and girls and so on and so forth. But it was me and my family. Things might have ended up a little different.
And that is why I said this to you, Manzo. You didn't get caught. You uttered a couple of words that people misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Deliberately, and they came
for
me.
All of
them.
But I'm ready for them.
They came for you. All of them. You and beat,
but they set up.
Nobody.
They set up. Well, they had it all over the place.
That's true.
They sang it all over the place. But I want all of them to know that when you stand on truth, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing to worry about.
Now is the opportune time for this regime to show the metal.
They're not going to show anything.
But the problem is a lot of them beating women, kicking women, and abusing women. A lot of them, that's the challenge. I've seen it too many times when the women can't take more. You see a post on Facebook. This one here. This one. Right? Yeah, I think it's easy. And some of them going out and pretending this and that. Then you see it. Right?
It's sad. It's sad.
Look,
It's
see
sad.
me, come live with me.
It's sad. We really are losing our way as a nation.
And I dare say it to the Commissioner of Police who campaigning right now, Commissioner of Police acting. I dare say, prove your matter.
This is an opportunity.
Prove your matter. I see photographs of you and this fella here pose up.
This is an opportunity.
Prove your matter
for Mr. Hickens to indicate that he is willing to walk the walk.
And that the police force is independent of the regime.
Right.
Prove your matter.
Because
let the chips fall where they may. I see a lot of statements every day. Hickens got something in the paper and some headline. Hickens say this, Hickens say that, Hickens. I want to see a headline on this.
Admirable stuff, him calling for the man to for investigations to be thoroughly done.
But
and
that
would be
by itself, because I don't want to say that there isn't, but I will say that I have not seen any statement from the police force on this matter. And I can say that I expect to see a statement because of the gravity of that situation, because I have seen statements from the police on matters that I was shocked to see statements from. Sharon said when he was climbing the step, a statement was out.
Yeah. I can't remember. Some cybercrime story. Yeah.
A man feel like calling a jackpot and trench crap.
And the legal system was activated.
Policemen by mediate.
But a man on video kicking, slapping, taking a belt whilst having a gun in his waist. No statement.
Nothing.
Policemen by he gate yet.
No, nothing. And you know what is so, I cannot understand. How can such a man be afforded a platform that publicly?
That crawls my skin to a level that I don't even want to speak about.
We understand how far we've gone as a society.
Because the very man conducting the interview, he himself, he's not a man, he's an animal.
We have
tough issues, which brings us to which brings us to our big issue, is the people seem to be anti-independence. So the police force are independent. So if it would be the contrary thing to see it, Hickens issue a statement on this, because he got to clear it with the boys upstairs, right?
The man did say he didn't appoint himself.
He got to clear it, and he ain't fully appointed yet, so he got to play all the cards straight. And then we see what happened with Linden and the the Linden co-op body there that deals with the electricity issues. They seem to like independence. And then we see Bartica Boat Association, and we could add a number of other issues on here. You either torn your line, right, or you with the opposition.
Yeah.
No, they're like no independent body. You see what happened to with EITI, the extractive industry body, the oversight, oil and gas, and all of that. And you could go institution after institution. The Public Accounts Committee, they do not like independence.
Yep.
You got to dot your I's, cross your T's, and sometimes even dot your T's and cross your I's. But them, they got to clear everything first. And then we spoke earlier about the separation of powers. They don't like that. That's why we said the private sector commission and the government is one.
Are one and the same.
There is no separation of power between the judiciary and the executive and the legislature, right? So if Sarah Lynn trying to fool herself, what's his name? The other high commissioners want to fool herself and think that is what's happening here. You're really fooling yourselves. I understand the interest and so on, right? Y'all want these boys to do what they want to do, but don't let me fool myself. Just let me call the thing as it is. They don't like independence. That's the big issue.
But the danger in it, a lot of times we come on and we speak about these matters. Some people may be, but how does this affect me as a person? The dangers in it altogether. I think that particular matter that we were just speaking about, the fact that that young woman in that situation, and now she has to rely on the independence of the police force by itself to get their work done and to have due process. Exactly, right? So it affects each and every one of us if we don't have the separation of powers altogether. It is a dangerous place we are in because there is so much integration and overlapping and all of these things, and instructions are being given and instructions are being taken by persons who have no business giving or taking instructions. And I could go back to the situation with the fisherman that went missing, and the one that actually was rescued and survived, and the fact that he was interrogated by the minister. Right? So we have so many issues that we are dealing with that affects each and every one of us. Want to live in this country that affects you.
What is at stake here, again, with independence? And this issue tackles all that with this young lady and her father and all that. If you are a woman in this country, right, and you could be beaten with a belt at 25 years old, kicked and slapped, and there's no justice for you, let me just fling away the whole Constitution. Fling away the whole Constitution.
You have a point.
And people do whatever that seems right in their own eyes.
And the question is, why are there more women not enraged by this?
There's a I seen a lot of justification. Oh, she's dating a black man.
So that is
that's a sin. That's a crime.
But that is a comment that's actually going.
Oh, she's dating a black man. So I understand why she father tried to kill she.
Wow.
But before I came
so there's justification for domestic violence.
To the morning program, Sharon said, simmer on this discussion because I would say things that I may not want to say in ways that I should.
That's one justification. She's dating.
It angers me to see a young woman have to go to such length to actually. The only reason, let's be honest here, the only reason that everyone out here is having this conversation is because she had the courage, and I don't know who advised her, but she had the courage to go and speak out. And the media had to bring this to the attention of the public. The media is forcing this conversation.
Not your mother, not your sister in the same family.
No support from the family. Family is actually not supporting against her.
No, because when you understand the way people with personality disorders.
I know them also well,
You understand how they control everything and everyone around them.
I
understand their strategies. I mean, when you experience certain things, you can look at certain things and you can identify it immediately.
Immediately, you can identify it. And one of the things I want to say at this point, like I heard some level of justification trying to come from the family and say, she used to get what she want. And then anyone that knows anything about abuse and an abuser, a narcissist, anyone can tell you that they would beat you up today and tomorrow. You see what Mecca do yesterday. I'm so sorry about this thing, What you want,
There's a clinical term for it. Now, can you imagine if she's going through that at 25? The level of conditioning that she went through as a child.
From a child.
And also, I don't want to pretend. I ain't see the response of the other people in the video.
I can't pretend.
That abuse that started yesterday. Which is what the man is getting at.
So how
that is a system.
No, but how about we look at that entire incident as a microcosm of Guyana?
Yeah.
That young lady representing the population. That man, her father, representing the government, and those people standing around representing those who have the ability to influence this situation for a positive outcome, but don't do so in their own self-interest. Just so they're taking the whole thing as a microcosm of our existence. And we will see and understand why this crap cannot be allowed to continue. Just like how that girl stood up and fought for herself, Guyanese have to stand up and fight for themselves because it's not going to get any better.
True words have not been spoken. True words have not been spoken. And it isn't getting better. Because again, when we look at the big issue today, the independence of so many agencies, right, the institutions are being diminished.
It's been hampered altogether.
And we have been chronicling here for our part. For instance, because of the supposed influence and independence of some of the agencies, they have not even yet been operationalized. The Integrity Commission, 2 years later, don't function.
The constitutional bodies that have been put there to secure the rights of Guyanese, they have not been operationalized. The PPP don't believe in institutionalization. In institutions, and in independence of institutions.
PPP doesn't believe in none of those things. So most importantly, they do not believe in democracy. And I can say this. They do not believe in democracy. That's a concept they do not embrace.
I can hear some of them saying, but what about the elections? The elections are only one indicator of democracy.
I want to talk about...
And not even a good one too. Not even a good one now.
No, there's an important point to make, and I'm going to say it here right now, Sherry. You can pick up on this after if you want in the manza, but I'm going to say this right now. There was a lot of talk about handing out awards for Guardians of Democracy last year.
How are you going through it?
Right? Now listen to me, folks. I think there was a timeline. I think it was March, that March is not going to pass before these awards for Guardians of Democracy is actually distributed. And we should be asking the question, where is this big award ceremony? And I can tell you right now that how are you going to have an award ceremony when you were supposed to award persons like Yog Mahadio, that whipping you soundly now, when you were supposed to be awarding persons
Timothy
like
Jonas.
Timothy Jonas,
Brian
right?
Max.
Brian Max, right? You want me to call the names because it goes.
The Guardian's gone rogue.
It goes exactly to what Amanda just said. That democracy doesn't
Control.
stop at elections, right? And there was the perception and the picture that was painted to Guyanese that democracy is elections alone. When those persons removed from the election cycle now, and they are voicing their same opinions as they were back then, now they are critics.
Yeah.
Now they're naysayers. Yeah. Now they're hampers. They can't go giving them awards anymore.
Like Justice Sanders, like he on.
As a legal professional, I will sip my tea.
Like Justice Sanders, come and collect you quietly.
My tea finished and I still
like you saying. But why aren't these bodies being allowed to function independently, or not being allowed to function at all? And I want to just run through a couple of them. Chip in any if I miss. You got the Integrity Commission,
yes.
The Petroleum Commission, you got the Judicial Service Commission still out. What am I missing?
All of them. The Police Service Commission.
Police Service Commission still out. Teaching Service Commission still out.
Public Service Commission.
Public Service Commission still out. Every oversight body that should provide some guidance, some independent thinking, none of them are functioning. 2 years out. But them boys don't come and say, we care about democracy, rule of law, and all of that,
And you know what is sad? Is that there are some people who will still defend them. You will see, PPP is the best. Like, I look at it and smile.
Again, Amanda,
engage in the delusion.
You put things in.
I think some of those things are the ministers themselves.
But Julia, Amanda put things into context. The abuse of this young woman is a microcosm of Guyana, because people could see the young woman being kicked, beaten with a belt at 25. She's not a minor. Slapped and all of that, and she has been at the brunt of that for her whole life. I put now there, for her whole life, and people will still come to defend the man. You understand why people defend the PPP?
Oh my goodness!
I mean, Sharon, this is powerful, and I don't want people to lose this. She was conditioned, the way the Guyanese population has been conditioned to accept
the psychological warfare. As we speak about it,
it's my father. Man, that's how daddy's thing when daddy get vexed. It's the PPP.
But he wasn't supposed
but let
to
another man slap shit.
Yes.
Right? If I slap shit, oh Jesus, I got the whole police force, me whole street can get blackout one night at around 12 o'clock. 50 policemen will swoop down. Right? Phone line cut, power line cut. Right? To arrest me.
Warren.
Right?
She is emblematic of the people of Guyana.
Yeah.
But the hopeful thing is that she has awoken.
But she has demonstrated strength. And I want to make this point,
Jordan,
right?
I like that.
Right?
I like that.
Yeah, I want to make this point. Don't want us to get it lost also, because she has demonstrated strength, and because of her strength, it shows hope. I want to say that it shows hope for people. And I always say it, because a lot of times I come on these programs and I say that to the people, even areas in which I'm looking at it in a holistic view right now as a country, even in areas where people say that, oh, well, y'all vote for the PPP and now y'all complaining, right? I always say kudos. I commend persons when they get up and they speak up, because I said that is a demonstration that there is hope, that these persons are waking up and they believe, and they are slowly realizing that, yes, I have been through this my entire life, but that doesn't mean that I deserve this for the rest of my life. And her actions demonstrated that, yes, she's cognizant of the fact that it is difficult to leave. She's cognizant of the fact that she has been undergoing such abuse for so long, but still she believes that I have hope. because that there's life in my body, and she demonstrated the strength to get out and stand up and do better. And we as the people need to stand up, commend her, rally our support around her. We need to condemn every action of her father and the family that seeks to defend him. And I dare say, as a country, we need to take an example from her, and we need to demonstrate the strength for ourselves that we deserve better altogether.
I couldn't say it better. I couldn't say it better. And so, what's the name of the store brands to go or something like that? I'm calling the name.
Well, I can't remember clearly, but I think that was the name.
To go. And he must not be supported economically. Now, this young lady has exhibited tremendous courage. I love the way you put it. And Guyanese can take a page out of her book. She has left all of the economic comfort.
Yes.
You understand?
Because your life is worth more.
More than a plate of food. The economic comfort.
My goodness.
You understand? She has made herself vulnerable. And what she needs now is a circle of support.
Yeah.
She needs a circle of support. To say that, you know what? We are here and we will support you. This victim shaming got to stop.
Yeah.
We have to stop it.
Well, nobody dare bring it to me.
Man.
Nobody dare bring it to me.
Can you imagine?
That's a crime.
Nobody.
That's a crime. Some are so wicked, stink and dirty.
I mean, can you imagine that this is an issue? Who you date, the race of who you date in this 21st century?
How somebody I can see father?
Oh my gosh.
How somebody I see father? Tell me.
As a country, we have a long way to go, and I don't think people understand the level of racism. That's a different conversation. I don't think people understand the level of racism that is in our country.
Buy from me, but don't date my daughter.
Right. You understand what Sherry just said there?
I ain't buying your money. I ain't seeing your black money, but
exactly.
I'm gonna date my daughter. We got problems there. I got bitch with the belt and kick shit.
And that, can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine if this level of bestiality that you have, of just beastly conduct that you see happening publicly? Can you imagine what goes on behind closed doors?
That's what I'm thinking. That's
but I could see if people, raise a voice for this issue. They get asked a particular question. The president always asks everybody who raised any voice of this of what dissension. Where were you? During the 5 months period. Mr. President, how do you feel about this girl and her father kicking her like this and so? Where were you?
These people who are speaking up now should speak up during the democracy, the usual refrain. And my question is to guys, you gotta sit and take that. Listen to me. I want to understand that these people live in high half of the taxpayers' money, When you there in your kitchen thinking about what you're buying today, and you're writing down, and you're rationing. Well, if I buy this, I can't buy this. If I buy the Bora, I can't buy my medication. These people that you are supporting.
First lady, they buy Van Arpels in New York.
Van Cleef and Arpels.
Sipping tea.
Do you understand?
5,000 US Prada shoe, 10,000 US Prada bag, and y'all want the only light bill pay when the month come. Y'all want the oil just gone up just after the prayer by 20%, cooking oil by 20%. Y'all want to hold it. Them people don't concern with that, right?
All women organizations, everyone. I think as citizens of this country, we owe it to that young woman to publicly show support for
Absolutely.
her. I think we owe it to her to publicly show support for her. And there I say again, stop your nonsense of victimizing victims. Stop it.
Yeah, that's what leads to the cycle of abuse.
Everybody that sees a problem with everybody who tries to defend the situation, it kills me inside to think that these people, had you read a headline that said young woman found dead, oh my God, if we had only known, now.
And they were going to issue statements. Now.
Speak now. But there she is. And so we want to just send love and light to her and to say that we commend you for this initiative, for this stand that you've taken. You give women all around the world hope. And so, Guyanese, it is for us to rally around her. I am calling for a boycott of his stores and his businesses so that people understand that we are not going to tolerate this foolishness. in our society anymore. And we really pray for the rest of those.
Yeah. But please don't buy from them.
Yeah, don't spend your money there. Find someplace else.
Find someplace.
Yep. Find someplace else. Even if it means you gotta pay $2 more, pay $2 more. We must begin to send messages to these people that we will not tolerate this kind of conduct in our society.
Yep.
And so love and light to you, my dear young lady. I don't know you, but I am very, very proud of you. We all are proud of you. And reach out. If we can be of support, you let us know. If we can be of support in the National Assembly, you let us know how. But kudos to you.
Most definitely. I think what I could add to that is that the power of media is something that was demonstrated there. So I have to say that good job to the reporter that I think it was Big Smith that actually brought out that
story. Yeah.
So I have to say kudos for
respect
that.
And manners,
for the courage that has been shown.
Yeah.
Respect and manners.
There could be implications.
The other show, not so much.
Yeah, that was a disaster.
Not so much. That being said, folks, that's our time today. That's our time. We see hundreds of you watching us. An hour and more, believe it or not.
1 hour and a half.
Look top left of the monitor.
Oh my God.
Look, that being said, folks, we want to see all of this viewership here demonstrated in the shares. Hundreds of you watching us, guys. Amanda, please encourage them. Listen to you. They listen to it. It's you to come to today. Share. Smash the emoji button. Share, folks. Others get valid and credible information. You cannot make sound decisions without adequate information. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us this morning.
Indeed.
That's our time.
A couple folks
Joan McDonald.
Brent Ventura. Brent, I ain't seen a little while. Like, what guy you busy?
Lysis Mingo Burr.
Lynetta or Cindy Fraser. Yeah. Mark Giles.
I see Gladson Matches.
Yeah, those are the regulars, you know.
Gladson Matches said, welcome back.
Bob,
that's to you.
Fruitful Audrey. Is it Audrey or Aubrey? Bob Fruitful. I mean, that person called got about 15 children.
Yes. Hi, Peggy. How are you?
Peggy is always good. Good to see
Peggy. Peggy's out of Maryland, I think. Maureen Coppin, Washington.
Thank you
guys. Shellon Joseph.
French Guyana also in the house with us this morning.
Everybody here, folks, share your love with sharing the program. Share it. Good to see each and every one of you. Guys,
don't be selfish, right?
Don't be selfish. You want others to get the
valid
as well.
Credible information.
Share before you go. Come on, y'all looking nice so far. Come on, folks. Come on. You know you gotta do.
You know, Glycis is one that is always here.
Yeah.
But Glycis is
Glycis,
like foundation.
Cindy,
that's like first cousin family.
Candy, Naleen is one of those persons too. We got Beatrice is not one of those persons. Always here, always about what's
Mr.
his name?
Musa as well. Mr. Musa
always here,
always.
always.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys as well for being here. Pauline Hawk, Kippins, another person always about. Kylo Tech, I was here too.
John is saying, I think I lost that.
Sorry.
Bella
Mona, Melanie Adams
I
here.
Noted that.
Delnay Kodongan, good to see you, Delnay, and all the other guys.
Pauline Kippins. Samson Richmond.
Yeah. Pauline Tech and Darlene Dorset. Good to see all of you, Carol Rollins.
Yeah.
Not the folks.
I think Darlene Dorset is from my home village of 50. Darlene confirmed that for me, whether you're from 50. I see one of them know my sister. She's well, my older sister. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
Let's start a movement. How about we do that? You share the live stream and you begin to speak to your people, to everybody.
Listen to man.
And let's begin in movement. Right? The people got the power.
But that's what persons need to realize. You have the power. And as we've been saying throughout the day, your finances is your most powerful weapon. You know, where you direct
Do not spend your
direct
money.
Some of us here too, because we need to.
I think the name of the business is Brands to Go.
Yep.
Don't spend your money there. He must come out and he must acknowledge what he has done. And he must
no justification.
There's no justification. There's no justification. You know, you spend your money there, you're part of the problem. You see, yes, Darlene is from 50 Village. Yes.
You see?
Miss Dorset.
You know your people.
Of course you know your people. It's good of you guys to join us. Have a blessed day. Go out there and make it a great day.
Yes, guys, and it's the beginning of the week, so you have a week with us, 70 programs to go. So
as we get to the weekend, we get to Sunday. So there's one of 17.
FYI,
16 to go.
it's going to be here tomorrow morning at 8 again, but then you have below the belt at 12 today and also 8 p.m. for in the ring. So you have a packed day ahead of you still. Go do what you have to do. Make sure you do your part, share, smash the emojis as you go on your way this morning. Be safe, be safe, be safe.
Yeah,
too many things still happening.
Yeah. And guys, we need your help too to get us to the finish line where our responsibilities are concerned. We are totally funded by you guys. Watch the program. You have an appreciation for the work that we do. We're totally funded by you guys, and we have all these platforms available for your contributions, for your love and your support. We got, whether it's Cash App, whether it's PayPal, whether it's Zelle, it's MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union, all for your convenience. And you guys want to know how you can contribute via any one of these platforms, you're free to contact us on WhatsApp via our MMG number via WhatsApp 627-6963, and we can let you know how you can do that. Thanks for joining us. That's our time.
Have a good day, guys.